A holiday song was playing. Jingle, jingle, ho, 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 while my daughter lay face down on marble with a grown man's knee in her back. That contrast is what hit first. Not the yelling, not the phones filming. The cheerfully festive soundtrack over something that looked like an arrest. I'd been at the mall cafe, waiting for a cappuccino, when the crowd near the jewelry pop-up tightened into a circle. Someone shouted, "She's got a bag!" Another voice yelled, "Stop her!" Then I saw the security guard, towering, red-faced, proud, pinning Tessa like he'd just won a prize. Her wrists were being cinched behind her with zip ties. That sharp plastic zit sound cut through everything. My drink slipped from my hand and burst on the tile. I didn't even feel the heat. I was already pushing through strangers. "Sir, that's my daughter!" I shouted. He threw an arm out to block me without looking. "Back up. Interfering gets you detained too." Tessa didn't flail, didn't cry, didn't beg. She stared at the floor with a blank, controlled expression that scared me more than panic would've. Like she'd decided her face wasn't allowed to react. And then I clocked why it looked so bad. Hoodie up, dark jeans, backpack, sunglasses indoors, phone out. To anyone watching, she looked exactly like a suspicious person stereotype. One word reaction check, rage. He marched her toward the security office like a trophy. I followed, demanding an explanation he refused to give. Inside the office, they laid out their case like it was a courtroom drama. The supervisor, Marla Stone, sat behind a desk covered in incident forms and laminated policies, speaking with the confidence of someone who's been waiting for this moment. She pulled up surveillance clips on a monitor. Tessa lingering near the jewelry pop-up, taking photos of the display and the ceiling corners. Tessa walking past the electronics store, pausing to look at exits. Tessa drifting into a department store, stepping away when an employee approached Tessa, repeating the pattern in another wing, always with her phone up. Marla pointed at the screen. "Scout behavior. Organized crews do this before a hit. We've seen it across the region." Then she started printing Tessa's face, actual printouts, saying she'd circulate them to other malls as a known threat. My stomach flipped. "We can," Marla said, smiling like she'd practiced it. Private property. Tessa sat in a plastic chair, hands still bound. Two guards posted like she might sprint out of a locked office. I leaned close. "Tess, tell them, please, tell them what's going on." She didn't look at me, not once. 15 minutes later, two police officers arrived with the tired, annoyed energy of people called to mediate mall drama. But once Marla played the clips and dropped phrases like multi-location casing and repeat MO, their tone sharpened. They asked Tessa her name. Silence. They asked why she was taking photos. Silence. Silence in that room didn't read as calm. It read as guilty. One officer pulled out handcuffs to replace the zip ties for transport. That's when Tessa finally spoke. One clean sentence, voice flat and authoritative, like she'd changed channels. "Officer, read your badge number. Then call the federal switchboard and ask for Special Agent Keen, extension 219. Marla laughed out loud. "Sure, and I'm Sanda." But the officer paused, because Tessa didn't sound like a kid bluffing. She sounded like someone issuing a procedure. He made the call. I watched his face shift in real time. Skeptical, confused, pale. In under 90 seconds, he'd gone from mall thief to, "Oh no." He hung up and said, "Remove the restraints, now." Marla's smile slid off her face like it had been unplugged. "What is happening?" The officer didn't even glance at her. "You detained a federal agent, active investigation." My knees went weak, because I thought my daughter worked a boring corporate job. Numbers, meetings, spreadsheets, that's what she told me after college. Risk consulting, she called it. Safe, normal, something a parent can sleep through. Turns out it was a cover. Those photos weren't scouting for theft. They were documenting security gaps, camera blind spots, response times, employee routines, everything in organized retail ring exploits. She was building a case tied to millions in losses across multiple states. 30 minutes later, a man in a suit and two agents stepped into the office like the temperature dropped. Agent Keen didn't yell. He didn't need to. He tore into the security team for compromising an operation and potentially alerting targets. The guard who tackled her was escorted out before he could finish a single excuse. And by evening, the viral video had context. Not security hero stops suspect, but mall security tackles undercover agent. Marla's printed known threat sheets disappeared fast. Her job disappeared faster. Satisfying payoff. Tessa walked out beside me, rubbing her wrists, calm as ever, and said, "Sorry you had to see that." I said, "I'm not sorry I saw it. I'm sorry they did it." Comment one word: reckless or vindicated. Share this story if you've ever watched confidence outrun competence, because sometimes the loudest expert in the room is the most dangerous one.